Welcome to Project Metis. Project Metis will focus on the speculative evolution of 3 habitable moons of the gas giant Metis. The gas giant and its collection of moons orbit Zeus 135 within the habitable zone. Named after the first wife of Zeus, Metis is a protector of 3 unique life-sustaining worlds, Athena, Nike, and Eric, short for Erichthonius. Metis protects against any large collision events with its massive gravity while also holding its moons close enough that the gas giant causes tides and tectonic activity within the planet due to its immense gravity field. This combination of protection, geological activity, and tidal forces have helped to create a sanctuary for life on the moons of Metis. Currently, Erichthonius is a mostly barren, rocky world with a radius of 3,390 kilometers or 2,108.45 miles and has a mass of 6.39 x 10 cat 24 kg. Eric is a planet very similar to Mars. The atmospheric composition of Eric is 85% carbon dioxide, 10.45% oxygen, 2.7% nitrogen, and 1.6% argon. There is little known about the origins of Erichthonius. It features a geographical composition that is different from that of a majority of other moons of Metis. It is believed that Eric was adopted by Metis after it had already formed within the solar system. Currently, it is believed that this moon of Metis was once a terrestrial planet that orbited around the star Zeus within the habitable zone, before Metis itself grew closer to its host star and subsequently adopted the terrestrial world into its protective orbit. This theory is supported by the fact that Eric is not covered in vast oceans like its sister moon, Athena, which was once an ice world created with the formation of the gas giant Metis in the far reaches of the Zeus solar system. As Athena came into the habitable zone with Metis, the ice melted and covered the surface with liquid water. For Eric, we see only solid water in the form of glaciers in the polar regions, while also seeing extensive evidence of ancient volcanic activity that seems to have stopped in the distant past, with traces of lost oceans. It is suspected that Eric, like Mars, lost its electromagnetic field due to the cooling of the planet's core. This cooling led to a slowing of convection currents within the planet, causing the electromagnetic field to weaken, allowing harmful UV radiation and solar winds to destroy the surface and atmosphere of Eric. The signs of ancient oceans on Erichthonius would support the notion that this world had ancient life within its oceans, and possibly on its continents that then was wiped out by the death of the electromagnetic field. However, the removal of the atmosphere and oceans did not eliminate all of the organic life of Eric. Deep within the ancient caverns and caves of Eric, subterranean life survived long enough to witness the resurrection of their world. As Eric now orbits Metis, the internal layers and activity of the planet have been renewed by the gravity of Metis. Volcanic activity slowly begins again on the planet, aiding in its development of an atmosphere and causing the global temperatures to rise, allowing for liquid water to exist again on the surface near the polar caps. This period of a reawakening of Eric is known as the Age of Anastasia. This time of resurrection is characterized by the growing volcanic activity of Eric, the re-emergence of the electromagnetic field, and the formation of a more hospitable atmosphere. During this time, the life of Eric will begin to radiate again, and they will eventually evolve to reclaim the empty surface world. The tree of life of Eric spans back before its relationship with Metis, with the chemosynthetic, photosynthetic and respiratory organisms. These 3 clades have found ways to endure in the deep caves of Eric as the surface world died. The chemosynthetic organism, known as the Dinatotherio, split into 2 groups, the Caftoplasmata and the Vrachystrogon. These 2 extremophiles permeate through the underworld of Erichthonius. The Caftoplasmata are the endolith organisms of Eric. These organisms are found growing in the interior of rocks, within structural cavities, and are found inhabiting fissures and cracks of rock, as well as penetrating into rocky substrates. These children of Eric feed directly from the rocks themselves to survive in the underworld. The Vrachystrogon group are hyperthermophile. Rose's organisms live in extremely hot environments with temperatures around the boiling point of water. Deep, subterranean deep thermal vents under pools of water allow for these hyperthermophiles to have a source of energy to continue reproduction. As a side effect of this chemosynthesis, the Vrachystrogon create a pink color lead pigment within the boil waters they inhabit. Of the photosynthetic organisms we see the clade of Kynogosphidus. These organisms of the tunnels have a symbiotic relationship with bioluminescent bacteria. As more Chemosynthetic grow in an area, the greater the light being produced to use for further energy and to attract other species. The Chemosynthetic divide into three groups: the Lamparous-Phyto, the Bliphyto and the Pagidophyto. The Lamparous-Phyto adapt for the water, causing underground lakes to have a faint blue glow. The Lamparous-Phyto provide a haven for the bioluminescent bacteria inside of their structures and helps the bacteria in times of crisis, as the Lamparous-Phyto can hold water within their cells for prolonged periods of dehydration to help the bacteria. The bacteria in return produce light. Bliphyto are the group of Chemosynthetic that masters the symbiotic relationship with the bacteria over their cousins. The Bliphyto use water-based spores, and so are often seen following along a water source. The organisms serve as major contributors to the scarce ecosystem of the caverns of Erich. The Pagidophyto adapt to spread their spores using the bodies or digestive systems of other species within the caverns of Erich. Later in the age of Anastasia, some of the Pagidophyto will evolve to be poisoned to obtain nutrients from the decaying bodies of other cave dwellers. Next time, we will investigate the zoospeleon during the age of Anastasia. We will observe various cave systems throughout the moon and observe the unique ways the life of Erich has adapted to surviving on the leftovers of a lost world. Until then, never stop exploring, and never cease to wonder what this beautiful universe may hold. Thank you for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe to check out future entries for Project Metis.